Let's look at a type of reaction that alcohols go under or go through. It's called the dehydration of alcohols. Now, dehydration, when you think of that, you think of losing water or water being removed. So when you have an alcohol and it goes through dehydration, you do that by the addition of an acid, a strong acid, something like sulfuric acid, and heat. When this goes through, we lose water, and when this hydroxyl is removed, so is a hydrogen from one of the adjacent carbons. Okay, so the OH from here and a hydrogen from one of the adjacent carbons is removed. Now, this is a special circumstance. This is a secondary alcohol. Okay, remember that a secondary alcohol means that the carbon with the hydroxyl functional group on it is directly bonded to two carbons. That's why it's called a secondary alcohol. So the hydrogen that goes with the OH to form the water could come from this carbon, or it could come from this carbon, which would give us two different possible products. So we could have, this is one product, where the OH goes with the hydrogen here, or we could have the hydrogen taken from the other carbon here. Now, what we realize is that both of these are possible products, and they're two different compounds. You can see here that it's an alkene that is formed, and in this possibility, the alkene is at the number 2 carbon position, whereas here it's at the number 3 carbon position. So there's two different products here. What we find is that when a secondary alcohol goes through dehydration, both products can be formed, but one is considered the major product, so the majority of the time this is what is produced, while a little bit of the other is produced. So the major product is the one that is formed by removing the hydrogen, okay, from the carbon atom that has a fewer number of hydrogen atoms. So here, this is a CH bonded with to a methyl, another carbon, and a carbon. So there's one hydrogen here. On this secondary, or on this carbon, this is a CH2. It's bonded to carbon, it's bonded to carbon, and then there's two hydrogens. So our major product will be the alkene that is formed here. Okay, so this is our major product. This is our minor product. Now, show you what happens when we work with a primary alcohol. With a primary alcohol, and so the hydroxy and a hydrogen from the neighboring carbon are removed to make the water, and then we have, so we have an alkene again. This time we have one butene that is formed. Right? So the dehydration of alcohols, you dehydrate an alcohol where you remove the OH and a neighboring hydrogen to form water and an alkene. So an alcohol is dehydrated to an alkene.